Greetings and salutations, and welcome back to our Europa Universalis 4 Let's Play as Yarkand, where we are trying to see what a Yar-can-do attitude can accomplish for us. Where we last left our country, we had started off with a pretty slow start and dealt with some problems with having hostile Timurids and Ming next to us, forcing us to play a little more cautiously than I might have liked, and we had to deal with the fact that when we did encounter one of our regional rivals like Uzbek, they had horde troops, and we were forced to fight them with not very impressive Chinese tech troops. But we pulled ahead, and we have now a fairly strong economy. We've got a growing army, and we have a fairly respectable alliance system. Ming is currently on good terms with us and is starting to experience some rebel problems from losing the Mandate of Heaven. And that is very good for us, because if Ming explodes, we can swoop into that vacuum and snatch up those nations. We left off trying to figure out if we were going to go to war with the Timurids, as their power is starting to wane. They do have some financial problems, it seems. And we are now 2 tech levels ahead of them. But the only resource that they have going for them is that they do have a fairly respectable general here, and they have a number of forts that are protecting against easy incursions, and that will make it very difficult to wipe out hunt down and kill their armies on our own, on their territory. We'd have to bait them into favorable positions, and we would have to fight a 2-front war. I think it will be a good idea to invade them. I would like to get a little bit of artillery to counteract their main benefit, which is that fort system. As a result, I might second-guess my plan of being friendly with Yaren, but it looks like that would drag us into war with Korea. So we're going to take a look, see what that would actually entail. Korea has 19,000 troops, and Yaren has 5, so 24,000 troops. That would take our entire military being thrown at them. And Korea is at Tech 8, which is slightly behind us. Yaren is at 7, which is a little bit further behind than that. And we would be fighting mostly in mountains and in forests. So I think I'll stick to the plan of trying to push westward. One option would be to push into Nogai, try to snatch up some territory and possibly some trade power if we can get all the way to Osterham. So I think that is what we'll do. We're going to give up on our efforts to befriend Yaren and start preparing for our westward push. So we're able to increase our diplomatic technology. And I'm reluctant to do so because we're not getting any sort of discount from our neighbors having developed that technology. We're not suffering any imbalanced tech between our military tech and our diplotech, and we don't have a navy. So that one can wait, and we'll try to bank those points. And when we see that we're getting a tech discount, then we will increase that tech. Alright, so we have the option of celebrating a holy day. If we choose the first option, we will get some admin power, lose a lot of money, and make all of our Sunni neighbors like us more. And Ladakh is actually Sunni. I think that's a large cost to pay. It would be the majority of our war chest. I don't think I want to do that. We could increase our piety, which is currently maxed out, and that would cost us money. So I think we'll go for the cost-free option of celebrating simply for one day. Ming has announced us as a rival. We will now hope even more for their destruction at the hands of rebels. Well, let's take a look at what's going on in the internal situation in Ming. So Ming has a very large army, 58,000 men, but 36,000 of those are mercenaries as they have no manpower. And they clearly have rebels. We can see 15,000 of them there alone. No more on our border. And these probably won't cross over into our... Oh, they very well could cross over into our borders. I don't really want to kill their rebels, so I think we will allow them to occupy this territory, as we do have forts here to liberate some of it. And we can simply move in and liberate the rest of it if need be. Some of these separatists are multinational. And part of Ming's army is down here. We're just trying to get a sense for where rebels are. This is a huge rebel force, 33,000 men, which is roughly half the size of Ming's army. If Ming engages in that, they can win, but it's going to push some costs onto them. It'll make it very difficult or financially costly for them to try putting down other rebellions. So we're just going to keep an eye on, look at each of their forts here. So they have another rebel army there, rebel army here as we looked. So that means that the rebels have roughly the same troop counts. And here's another rebel army, probably just engaged in a battle, or is currently engaging in a battle with Ming's forces. There's a fort here and here in the hands of rebels. This one will restrict Ming's movement just a little. That fort is not under siege, nor is that. So it looks like southern Ming is going to face the greatest number of problems. They do have a fort up here. This one is in rebel hands. And there's yet another rebel army here. Not making much progress yet, but we will wish them the best of luck. The capital seems secure. This fortress has not yet fallen, not being attacked, nor is this. This fort is in the hands of rebels. So we could see a Korchin pop up here, but Kalka seems like they have some work to do, and we will wish them luck. I would like to push into Manchuria. I would also like this region to fall, but it looks like it isn't experiencing as robust of rebellions as of yet. So it might be worthwhile for us to play it a little bit cautious, push for Nogai, and wait on the war with Timurids and Uzbek to see if better opportunities pop up in Ming. So we're going to unpause it. And Muscovy is hostile to us and took territory, closing us off from that avenue of invading Nogai. That is definitely unfortunate, but if Muscovy does westernize, we can westernize off of that. I think I would like to improve relations, and that's probably a doomed venture. But we'll see where our diplomatic efforts can get us. And now we do have that tech discount, so I will tech up here. And where we're really going to appreciate our Diplotech is when we get up to level 9, and these spy networks that we're building can help us study technology. We're going to rival Ming right back, and we're going to rival the Timurids. Fabricate our claim here. We would like... So we have claimed Bukhara and Samarkand, so let's continue in trying to consolidate this region. We're going to claim Shymkent, and Tashkent will be our next target. Yeah, it looks like we've got most of the border provinces claimed. These rebels have not yet crossed into our territory, that is good. I'd rather not fight these rebels. Looks like we're going to have to lose some money to keep the merchant guilds happy. But we're going to get half of that back. We could tax our dhimmi. Alright, so we are being called into a war by our ally Bengal, who's trying to take advantage of the fact that rebels are neutralizing Koch. They would like Assam, and I would certainly like to support them in that effort. We do have a truce with Uzbek, so they won't try to take advantage of our distraction. But it's possible that the Timurids could. I think that would be very foolish of them to try. So hopefully they will. Instead, the Timurids are trying to jump on this pile. Dog pile coach. And we are going to actually send our army in here. Our general in charge. And indicate that we would really like this province. I think that's all that we can expect out of this war. But the big problem is going to be access beyond that point. I don't want to move through Ming, as there could be rebels in the region that I'd rather not kill. And I don't see, from this overhead glance, much in terms of developments in Ming. Let's see if we do have access. There's not a lot of forts in this area. So not a lot of chance of rebels moving into it. We're going to go cautious one province at a time through here. And see if we can move over into this territory. There's rebels there, but we can avoid them. And here we are. Sang separatists. And I think if we move in here and win them, despite the mountains, which I think we could do, we could potentially be attacked. So I'm instead going to move on to this province. Rebels are going to suicide into the Timurid army. Let's give this over to Bengal. We don't need it or want it. Hey, we could lose some piety and gain some ducats. I'd rather not lose that 55 ducats, so we're going to take a small piety hit. We could always get it back when we declare war on somebody who is not Sunni. Should have paid attention to what I was just told about Ming. Again, as our spy power grows, we're going to claim some new things. Tashkent was our next target, so we're taking that as a claim. And we'll need some more spy power before we can claim anything in Uzbek. And Timurids are going to be stretching their economy even further by paying 7 ducats per month for this Uzbek army. That seems overpriced. And they may have some serious problems trying to get it to the Timurids, as I am not going to give them military access. If I have a choice about the matter. Oh, they're coming through anyway. We're going to keep these guys in Muscovy. Muscovy's relations are pretty good at the moment, and they do have a mission to push west. I'm hoping that they might want to pick on somebody like Uzbek or Golden Horde, or get caught up in the European war, as they are military tech 10. But they do not have an heir, so they could experience some instability problems if things go poorly for them. Since we saved our money, I would like to start buying up some artillery as promised. So there we are at our new limit. And we still have some cash. Looks like this is pretty much all that's keeping our enemies in the war. So once it falls, we'll switch over to Bengal and see if we can get that province out of the peace deal, which shouldn't take very long at all. So now we have 93% of their stuff. Both belligerents are low war enthusiasm. And while we're camping out here, let's just see where there's loot. Looks like there's some here, so we'll just take that and move on to the next spot. Okay, rebels have pushed up here. They are Shan separatists. So let's see where they have cores. They have cores there, but not here. And they have cores here. They do not have it on our territory, so that's good. I don't see that these rebels have crossed over to give us any problems. But the north seems under control by Ming for the moment. I really don't like seeing Bengal's troops move through the area. So likely, they did not give us this province, which is unfortunate. But we will live through that. Okay, we did get 19 ducats and some favors. So let's cash those in. We're going to need them for one war at a time for now. So that trust is instead going to be our goal. So I do want to double check who we have relations with. We do have a royal marriage with Coach. Hopefully that will expire. We're just going to bring our troops straight back through here while they're exiled. And that should be able to support them. Okay, we can get some more diplomatic relations. And I think Korea wouldn't be a bad choice to see if we could neutralize them from getting involved in wars here. Would like Muscovy as an ally temporarily while we deal with the Timurids and the Uzbek, but they don't seem keen on that idea. Sind is allied to Delhi, and they would be up for the deal if we try to butter them up. They bring 13,000 troops to bear, so I think that will be our next ally. vacate claim, and now we will have claims on all of their border territory. Might now be a really good opportunity to invade the Timurids and Uzbek, as they are currently distracted and down here. That would give us an opportunity to take some territory like their capital, and possibly knock Uzbek out of the war, as they only have this capital fort protecting their capital, and apparently no other defenses. They might have something up here, but I'm doubting that. So yeah, that's going to be our plan. Let's get our troops into position. I think we could justify taking out a second leader. And he's got a nice shock and fire. I like him.